It's the final day of the ABA round robin here in Lexington, South Carolina. The regular season comes down to the final day, and for the Kingsmen varsity team, their postseason seeding is set, but they still want to go into the tournament with the vibes as high as possible. They take on an ECA Bobcats team that they have had success with in 2026. They look for one more win over the Bobcats to wrap up the regular season, and it's live from Lexington, South Carolina, right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. I'm Griffin Leonard saying good afternoon. It's just afternoon here in Lexington, and the Kingsmen set to bring Logan Daniel, Eli Thomas, and Dino Catani to the plate. Our full starting lineup: Daniel, Thomas, Catani, then Harris Clark, Christian Burney, Brody Wynant. Final four of Jack Catron, Matt De La Cruz, Nehemiah Barnes, and Deacon Curtis. They'll face off against Noah Jenna, the right-hander. The Kingsmen saw him last week in Goldsboro. They'll get another shot at the Bobcats starting pitcher here this afternoon. Thanks for coming along for the ride. It's a blessing, as always, to have you with us. And we look forward to what we hope to be a fruitful day for the Kingsmen. The varsity team with one last regular season conference game. The prospect team with the same and big seeding implications at play for the prospect team. We'll talk about that more later on in the day. It's a noon start time here in Lexington for varsity ball, and then 4:15 for the prospect team. And it is Logan Daniel, the Kingsman shortstop, that leads things off, batting right-hand side. Noah Jenna comes set, right-hand side. His windup is the stretch, and his stretch is a fastball. It is ball one, low of the zone. The Kingsmen will enjoy just a standard doubleheader today, and only one game for each team. After they played 3 games total yesterday, it was a long day for the KBA, one that saw them win 2 of their 3 games. 1-0 to Logan Daniel. Daniel lets the fastball go, and it is low for ball 2. Ferd is the Kingsman shortstop. He has had a good week so far here in the round robin. As he swings at the 2-0 rather, traps it to third. The throw is high to Summerlin, and the tag is on him for out number 1. It was hit to C.J. Summerlin at third. He threw high over to first to Keller, but lunging after the first baseman, Logan Daniel tried to dive to the fair territory side of first base, but was tagged out for out number 1. One out for Eli Thomas, who had quite the last at-bat for the Kingsmen. He swings through the outside pitch to make it 0-1. Thomas, before his last at-bat in the game yesterday against Georgia Premier, was hitless. Throughout the round robin, he was 0 for 6, but he hit a 2-run home run to help the Kingsmen spark a rally that saw them come from behind in that top of the 7th, unable to secure the victory in the bottom half. But it was quite the exciting comeback bid to watch, and it started with the Thomas home run. He's behind 0-2 after a couple of big hacks. Here comes Jenna's 0-2 from the right-hand side. And he struck out Thomas on 3 pitches. Dino Catani, the next to hit, he followed up Thomas's big fly with a double with 2 outs. All of those big hits, 3 extra base hits in a row, all came with the Kingsmen down to their final out. Catani had the double, and then Harris Clark, who is on deck, hit another 2-run home run, that one to give the Kingsmen the lead. First pitch coming here to Dino. And he hits it shortstop side, and that is through with ECA playing the pull side shift. Catani singles with 2 outs. That kind of shift over the last couple of years has been banned in the major leagues. ECA still using it here at the academy level, completely legal down here. At that time, it worked against them. Catani hit a ground ball that would have likely been routine for the shortstop had he been playing in his normal position. Instead, it squirts through, and here's Harris Clark. First pitch from Jenna, a fastball that is cranked foul toward the parking lot, 0-1. Kingsmen looking to score in the first inning. They have not scored in the first inning of a varsity game since the first game of this round robin. Scored 2 against P27 in that back and forth win. 0-1. Runner on the move, outside. Throw down from the catcher. Kennedy is not in time, and it squirts over off the glove of the middle infielder and into shallow left. It's a stolen base for Catani, who's on second with 2 outs. One ball and 1 strike. Harris Clark, then hitter at the plate, right-hand side. Then Christian Burney. Burney catching today after playing third base in the first 2 varsity games this week. Jack Catron, who was the catcher, is the designated hitter. 1-1. Swing and a miss, and it's to the backstop off the glove of Kennedy. And that will put the runner on third. The count now 1-2 after the swing. Alex Estevez, Landry Cornegay, and Max Liriano, the first 3 Bobcat hitters that will face the Kingsmen starting pitcher Tate Johnston. Johnston normally out of the bullpen for the Kingsmen varsity team, but he is on the hill to start things off today. 1-2. Just off the outside corner, and the check swing was held up. No appeal. 2-2 the count. Burney on deck if the inning continues. The opening run 90 feet away. Noah Jenna trying to get out of the first. 2-2 pitch. Fastball struck out Clark. It was low of the knees, and Clark went down to go get it, but came up empty. We go to the bottom of the first, 0-0 here in the regular season finale. It's the ABA round robin right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the first inning, it is Tate Johnston on the mound for the Kingsmen, and his first pitch is fouled off behind home plate. Alex Estevez, the right fielder for the Bobcats, hitting leadoff. Tate Johnston making his first start. I asked him when he last started a baseball game on the mound because he has not done so for the Kingsmen. Breaking ball in there for a good-looking strike, too. He said it's July. It's the first start on the mound for Tate since the summer. Did not start in either fall ball or at all so far in the spring. And gets a 3-pitch strikeout. Bernie will have to go to first, and that is out number 1. So how about that start from Johnston? We'll see how long he pitches in this ball game. I'm really curious as to the duration. He pitched a couple innings last time out against the Bobcats of ECA. He has had success against this Eastern Carolina Academy team. The Kingsmen are going to try to get everything out of him they can. They want to keep the pitching that they have healthy and ready to go for Lake Point in 2 weeks' time. There's strike 1 to Landry Cornegay, the left fielder for the Bobcats. A 1 pitch, hit on a line to second base, and it is caught by Eli Thomas for out number 2. Decent contact from Cornegay, but right at the Kingsman second baseman. And now 2/3 of the way through a clean first inning, here comes Max Liriano. First pitch, breaking ball, tapped foul. Six pitches so far in the first inning for Tate Johnston. That ball is in the dirt. That's the first ball he has thrown in 7 pitches. Top of the second, it'll be Bernie Wynant-Catron. Kingsman looking to strike first here in this conference ABA game against the Bobcats of ECA. 1-1. Fastball rides up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Kingsmen are locked into the 6th seed in Lake Point at the Varsity division with the loss against Georgia Premier yesterday. Unable to rise any higher. They have avoided that first round, so they'll be the last of the 6 teams to receive a bye as that ball is popped into shallow right. Long run for Winan, but even longer for Thomas, who makes the catch running into the outfield. Not a bad play from the 2030 star who has had a heck of a week. We'll be back for the second. It is scoreless here in Lexington on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the top of the second inning, Christian Burney is the leadoff man, and Alex Jenna's first pitch is hit hard off the chest of the third baseman, who recovers and throws on time to Patrick Keller at first base. Burney denied a base hit. That ball was scorched off of his bat, but the third baseman, C.J. Summerlin, making the play, the hot corner, showing off why it has that nickname. One out here in the top of the second inning. Scoreless here in Lexington as Brody Winan comes to the plate for the first time today. We have seen some big power out of the bat of Brody Winan, but he's trying to get back to his best. We've seen him, and that's a good start for it. A one-hop base hit through the right side of the infield past the dive of Max Liriano. It's the second hit for the Kingsmen here in the ball game, and it will be Jack Catron who now has a base runner. So the Kingsmen hunt the first run of the game. Winan and Catani with the two singles early on here for the Kingsmen. Catani was stranded at third when the last inning concluded. Swing and a miss for Catron. That was the second hit of the week for Brody Winan, and a man who is traditionally used as one of the courtesy runners for the prospect team now is on base of his own merit and can try to show off his speed. They throw it first, and he is back in there. Noah Jenna dealing with the base runner for the second straight inning. It won't affect his mechanics much because, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he throws his wind-up and his stretch motion from the same exact footwork and arm slot. There's a fastball in there to make it 0-2. He doesn't really have a traditional wind-up. He goes with the same motion regardless of the base running situation. So no changes for Jenna, and he's able, as a byproduct of that, to settle into a rhythm with a base runner on a little bit easier. 0-2. Catron off the handle, foul right side. De La Cruz is on deck. Then Nemo, Barnes, and Deacon Curtis, the bottom of the order. The ball's in 2 strikes. Jack Catron, the designated hitter, batting for Tate Johnston. Runner on the move. That ball is in the dirt. Throw down from the catcher Kennedy is not in time, and for the second time in as many base runners, the Kingsmen steal second base. It's Winan this time taking the bag. Catron, the DH for Johnston, who threw just 9 pitches in that first inning. He had a 3-pitch strikeout, then a 2-pitch lineout before his longest battle of the inning, a 4-pitch pop-out to shallow right field. 1-2 pitch to Jack Catron. That ball in the dirt, and it goes to the backstop. Wild pitch moves Winan to third base, and now a big opportunity for Catron. The RBI effort made a little bit easier, but he's still got some work to do. Nearly identical to the first inning when Dino Catani stole second and then advanced to third on a wild pitch. Winan does the same here. The only difference is there is only 1 out. The Kingsmen can strike first with the ball put into play. The infield stays back for ECA, and the 2-strike pitch is hit high into the air, right side toward the Kingsmen bullpen, and it migrates that way. Out of play, it remains 2-2. Score update across the street for those interested in the prospect team as well. 1-0, bottom 4 for Georgia Premier. That game, as far as I'm aware, is essentially for the 1 seed in the tournament in Lake Point. The Kingsmen looking for the 2 seed this afternoon. 2-2 to Catron. Ground ball to the shortstop side. The runner comes to the plate. The throw to first is high, but caught by Keller. Wiggins with the infield assist, but it is the first run of the ball game as Winan scores from third on the RBI groundout. 1-0 in favor of the black and gold. And here comes De La Cruz with 2 down, and the base is clear. Kingsmen have just 3 ground balls this inning. One of them snuck through the infield, and then the ensuing pitches allowed the Kingsmen enough leeway to bring the run around on the next ground ball out. It's been a ground ball hit to every single position except for first base here in the second inning. 0-1. And De La Cruz wears it on the forearm. Up and in on the Gastonia man, and here comes Nemo Barnes. You'll notice Nemo wearing the number 36 instead of his traditional 6. Wearing the number of Angel Rari today. I was joking with him before the game. He said that he might have some of the Dominican power in him now. He swings away out of the 9 spot with a man on first. First pitch. And he chops it to the third base side. C.J. Summerlin cannot get there, and it is through into left field for a 2-out base hit. Not quite a bomb, but Nemo Barnes will be happy with the 2-out single that brings Deacon Curtis to the hitting circle with 2 outs. The Kingsmen have scored the opening run of this ball game here in the second inning. And now they have back-to-back base runners off of a hit-by-pitch and a ground ball single that has allowed Deacon Curtis a chance to add to the lead. Curtis made his season debut last week against the Bobcats. He swings away, taps it to short. It is Mac Wiggins who flips it underhand to second, and it's a fielder's choice to wrap up the frame after the pitch was swung on by Curtis. We go to the bottom of the second. Kingsmen strike first here in Lexington. We'll be right back. It's Varsity Baseball here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.
I think somebody hit a bomb over there. I'm trying to figure out this one.
Back here for the bottom of the second. The action continues around the complex here in Lexington, South Carolina. An exciting final day of the ABA Round Robin Tournament. Seeing a score update, Georgia Premier has widened the gap a little bit over on the other field against DSC. That is now 4-0 in the bottom of the fifth, as the Red Sox of Georgia Premier try to close in on the number 1 overall seed. They could clinch that number 1 overall seed before even playing the Kingsmen if they can win the ball game here this afternoon. Harris Clark with the catch on the pop-up. 1 out, as Ian Newberger is the man that pops up the breaking ball. So 4 hitters for Tate Johnston and 4 outs recorded. He has looked very good here against the ECA Bobcats. He's got an early lead as the Kingsmen offense able to punch one across. Brody Wynant scoring on the RBI ground ball by Jack Catron. Kingsmen got runners on second and first, but weren't able to bring in any more. There's a first pitch ground ball hit out to first base. Nemo Barnes scoops it up and takes it to the bag. And that is 2 quick outs here in the second. We are loving what we're seeing from Tate Johnston, who is happy to be out there today. I asked him what he was trying to do well. He said he's looking for some weak contact. He's not expecting to strike out a whole lot of the hitters from the Bobcats. He does have one. He struck out the first batter he saw on 3 pitches. So he throws one to the backstop against Wesley Kennedy. But he's not expecting to have a whole lot of punch out today, just trying to put it on the corners and force weak contact. There's a rollover ground ball, but it is foul, and the count is now 1-1. Wesley Kennedy, the ECA catcher, first at-bat for him, hasn't been able to make a whole lot of an impact offensively quite yet. He has been 0 for 2 today in terms of trying to throw out base runners. 1-1. That is high on the 2-seamer for ball 2. Top of the order due up for the Kingsmen in the third. Be Logan Daniel, Eli Thomas, and Dino Catani. 2-1 from Tate. And that is off the handle and foul, 2-2. Tate Johnston with a chance to get out of the second unscathed. A pop out in the infield, a ground ball to the first baseman. And now he has Kennedy with 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Just inside, and it's ball 3. Mac Wiggins is on deck, the shortstop. The infield assist to get out of the second inning is on deck if ECA gets a base runner. The count is 3-2 here in the second inning. 2 outs, the payoff. In there for called strike 3. And a roar from the dugout as Johnston is 6 up, 6 down through 2. We go to the third, 1-0 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Third inning time here in Lexington, South Carolina, the home of today's contest between the Kingsmen and the ECA Bobcats. Ball one to Logan Daniel, second time through the order for the Kingsmen. Here to start this third inning, Daniel grounded out to the third baseman, C.J. Summerlin, his first time to the plate. 1-0 pitch deferred, and Logan takes it high for ball number 2. Mentioned it earlier, but the Kingsmen are locked into the 6th seed for the ABA championships in Lake Point for the varsity division. The question is still to be answered of who the Kingsmen will play in that first round, as Daniel takes ball number 3. If the season were to end right now, I do believe the Kingsmen would match up against P27 in the first round of the championships. P27 and the Florida Travel Ball Bulls are in a tie for that third place spot. There's a 4-pitch walk to Logan Daniel. I do believe P27 would get the wave due to winning percentage. 9-5 in conference, including 2 wins over the Kingsmen. Kingsmen able to win the season series 4-2. But we'll see if the Blacksmiths get another chance in the championships. Clubhouse Commanders, the 1 seed right now, followed by Central Point, then the tie for 3rd. Georgia Premier is in 5th, and the Kingsmen stuck in the 6th spot. So 0-1 after the foul ball on the bunt. The surprising thing is you go down to the bottom of that varsity standings, and 2 of the teams that will be playing in that first round, the 7 and 8 seeds, TNXL and A3, who have both put together really good seasons at the prospect and premier levels. Safe the call at first. Thomas squares again here. It is 0-1. And he gets it down right-hand side. The second baseman was late to come off, and that ball goes into right. Mistake in the infield. Max Liriano did not crash to first, and immediately the ECA coach is out of the dugout to have a mound visit, but it may be less of a mound visit and more of a scolding of his infield. Max Liriano was late to get over to first base with the first baseman coming in to field the bunt, and then it was off of his glove as he tried to make the last-second effort to get over to the bag. And I don't believe the ECA coach has said a word to the pitcher yet. He is talking directly to the ECA second baseman. But an error assessed to the ECA infield. Daniel smartly moved first to third once he saw that throw went off the second baseman's glove. So it's corners with nobody out for Dino Catani and a chance for the Kingsmen to break this one wide open in the third. They're up 1-0. They've gotten 2 great innings from Tate Johnston on the mound. And it's Dino Catani at the plate left-hand side, 1-for-1 today. He has runners on base and nobody out. The Kingsmen can take control of this contest if they can take advantage of the opportunity in front of them. The right-hander Noah Jenna has not pitched poorly by any means. 31 pitches, 6 already here in the frame after going 25 through 2. He's kept the pitch count down. First baseman way in on the grass. Catani swinging away on the first pitch, and he hits it foul. The first baseman would normally be holding on Eli Thomas in a situation like that. Patrick Keller was 15 feet in of first base. That allows Thomas for a bigger lead, a bigger secondary. We've certainly seen the Kingsmen bunt the ball a time or 2 this season. They are not afraid to play small ball, but I would be surprised if the 3-hole hitter Dino Catani laid one down. Now Keller holding on the runner at first. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It was high out of the zone, and it is 0-2. Harris Clark and Christian Burney in the hole and on deck. Some big hitters at the plate here in the third with runners aboard. Catani's got to keep his composure here. He's behind 0-2 here with nobody out. Thomas a good lead off at first. The 0-2 pitch is lifted third base side foul ground. Summerlin toward the wall, and it is on top of the ECA dugout. You might have heard the boom as it hit the sheet metal. No balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitter digs in open side. It's Catani trying to give the Kingsmen another run. And he lashes out at that 0-2 to fight off another one once again. That ball looked to be a little bit off the plate, but you can never be too sure. 0-2. You want to make sure that you don't leave it up to the man in the mask behind home plate. So Catani fighting hard here. Looking for a pitch that he can drive. 0-2 from Jenna. And he strikes out Catani with the ball low in the zone. Catani was right to go after it. It looked good at the knees. He could not get the bat on it. 1 out here, a huge first out for ECA, trying to minimize the impact of this inning on the baseball game. Kingsmen yet to score in the third. They have a golden opportunity, but it is one step harder now with 1 out. Harris Clark digs in. He struck out swinging his first time, and now Thomas dives back into first. That was close at the first base bag, but he is safe. First pitch to Clark. It's in the dirt. It was off the glove of the catcher, Kennedy. Wesley Kennedy struck out to end the bottom of the second. It's Mac Wiggins, Patrick Keller, and C.J. Summerlin, 7, 8, and 9, up to face Johnston in the third. The Bobcats starting pitcher comes set. 1-0 from Jenna, and it is once again blocked. 2 balls and no strikes for Harris Clark. There's this big swing into deep left field. Tracking it in left is Cornegay. He makes the catch in deep left field. And trotting home is Logan Daniel to make it 2-0. Sack fly, Harris Clark. That sounded good off the bat, but it hung up a little bit too much. It's 2-0. And there are 2 outs for Christian Burney. One-0 pitch to Burney. That is a good slider, but it is just off the plate, and it is 2-0. That rides up and in, and then the throw goes into right field. Sailed by Kennedy. To second goes Thomas. He'll stop there on an error by the catcher. Eli Thomas reached on an error, and now he advances to second on another one. So he's in scoring position for Bernie, who has a 3-0 count. Brody Winan is on deck if the Kingsmen get another hitter. That is just outside. It's a 4-pitch walk. So the Kingsmen get their third base runner of the inning. It sets up Brody Winan with runners on second and first with 2 down. Strike at the top of the zone after the 4-pitch walk. So the streak balls is over. Brody Winan 1 for 1. He singled and then came in to score the first run of the game for the Kingsmen. They scored in the second. Now they have scored again in the third. 0-1. Just off the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, it is 7, 8, and 9. Wiggins, Keller, Summerlin against Johnston in the third. Tate looking to keep it going. And he has another run here from the Kingsman offense as a cushion. 1-1 pitch from Jenna. That is outside and stretching to keep it in the glove. Wesley Kennedy saved 90 feet for both of the Kingsman base runners by keeping that ball in the glove. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Two one. Ground ball, gloved by the pitcher. Jenna flips to first, and they escape the jam. Nice play from Noah Jenna to get the glove up in a hurry. And that ends the top of the third. We go to the bottom half. Kingsmen grab one more. It's 2-0 here in Lexington on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Bottom of the third starts with a pitch to the chain link fence behind home plate. Johnston back out there to face Mac Wiggins, Patrick Keller, and C.J. Summerlin. The Kingsmen up 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. And it is now 2-0. Johnston trying to find his planting spot on the mound. He's kicking up some dirt after seeming to miss his ideal landing zone on back-to-back pitches. Here's the 2-0. And he gets it down the middle that time with the fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Through 2, Johnston is not allowed a hit. He has struck out 2 ECA hitters. 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. A line out, a pop out, 2 pop outs actually, and a ground ball out. The 6 hitters retired by Johnston in the first 2 innings. Got to find the zone here, 3-1. Fly ball center field. Racing back is Dino Catani. And over the shoulder, Catani has out number 1 to keep the streak alive. Patrick Keller, the next to hit. Keller had one heck of a day in ECA's win over the Kingsmen last week in Goldsboro. Takes a curveball there inside. He was 3 for 3 with 3 legs of the cycle. A single, double, and a home run. Keller is batting in the 6th spot in that game. Hit the home run in the 5th inning. I believe he hit it off of Tate Johnston. Now he hits one down the line, hooking toward the corner, and that ball is foul. He nearly hit another one off of Tate. 1-1. Keller hit that home run over the left field fence out at ECA, part of the Bobcats' only win against the Kingsmen in the 5 games across both levels. 1-1 pitch. And that breaking ball taken low, 2 balls and a strike. Johnston nearly had him with a swing and miss, but Keller held off. C.J. Summerlin on deck, then Bryce Weeks and Riley Czekowski. The bottom half of the order up here in the third. 2-1. Fastball. Oh, it didn't get the outside corner, and it was 3-1. A pretty good 2-1 pitch from Johnston, and now we'll have to come back into the zone. 3-1. Foul ball into the umpire's mask, and the count is full. Keller saw that sitting at the top of the zone like a watermelon. But he could not
let's go, Keller. Come on.
Put it between the lines.
Let's go. Come on. Hit it hard.
3-2. Ground ball to the shortstop side. Daniel into the hole. Throws on one hop. Scooped out by Nemo Barnes. Oh, yeah. Nemo Barnes with a backhand scoop. It was pretty. And that is 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Nemo playing first for the first time this week. With Harris Clark over at third. First pitch coming to the third baseman, C.J. Summerlin. And that is a ball low. Johnston now over 30 pitches. Two balls and no strikes. Johnston out of the windup, trying to get through the third. Ground ball up the middle again. Long run for Daniel. He dives, throws as he slips. There was no play at first base, despite the play at the shortstop position by Daniel. He sprawled out for it. But it is the first hit of the game for ECA here with 2 outs in the third.
Sorry, you too.
Johnston to first, back safely despite the tag from Barnes. Top of the 7th over Acosta Street. It sounds like DSC has found their way onto the scoreboard. They're still down 3 against Georgia Premier. That throw back over to the first base bag. Will be interesting if DSC can make a comeback in that ball game. The Kingsmen would, of course, be looking to beat Georgia Premier and send the Red Sox at that point down to the 4th seed in the tournament. But if Georgia Premier were to beat the Kingsmen, then there would be a tie at the top of the standings. They throw to first again. They've got him. Picked off by Tate Johnston. And despite the hit, he is through 3 innings, having faced 9 hitters. We go to the 4th inning. It is 2-0 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top 4, and the Kingsmen back at the plate. It's Jack Catron leading off. He took a strike on the outside corner from Jenna, who is out there for his 4th inning of work. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, third base side, past the dive of C.J. Summerlin, and into left field. Lead off base hit for the Raleigh native Jack Catron. And here comes De La Cruz. Another quick update for you if you're scoreboard watching like we are. DSC making a comeback. It's 4-2. Owen Klimek at the plate with the tying runs on base for the Wolves. Battle for the top seeds. When the Kingsmen left the ballpark yesterday, they were in a 4-way tie for the top seed in the ABA championships. Mathematically unable to take the 1 seed now with the results that have since happened, but they are in contention for the 2 if they can win their ball game tonight. Both teams looking to end the regular season in the ABA on a win. The Kingsmen varsity team has put together 3 pretty good innings trying to do so. They look to start the 4th off well as well. They've scored in back-to-back innings, scored 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. It is 2-0 here in Lexington. The throw to first, back safely goes Catron. There's a swing by De La Cruz. It is foul. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out for De La Cruz, who is hit by a pitch and stranded on third. His last time to the plate. The Bottom 3 up in the order for the Kingsmen, trying to add to their lead. De La Cruz swings and misses. He strikes out on the 1-2 pitch low and away. 1 out here in the 4th. Nemo Barnes, the first baseman, singled his last time. Barnes wearing Angels number 36, as mentioned last at bat. We go to first again to check on Catron, this time no tag. Pitch inside to the backstop it goes. Catron takes second, rounds but does not try for third. One ball and no strikes. The pitch. Ground ball, but foul to the first base side of the line. 1 ball and 1 strike for Nehemiah Barnes, looking for his second hit in as many tries. The Kingsmen have just 1 hit the second time through the order. They have 4 total, all of them singles. They have not lit up the offensive categories, but they have done enough to lead at this stage in the ballgame. One pitch. Barnes takes low, and it's knocked down by the catcher. Two balls and a strike. That is high for ball 3. I can now tell you that Dominion Sports Collective has completed the comeback. They have tied the ball game 4-4. In the top of the 7th, they were down to their final out. Braden Walton with an RBI single. Drama continues all over the complex here at the ABA Round Robin. 3-1. Barnes hits it into left over toward Cornegay, and he makes the catch, moving to his right. Not a bad swing from Nemo Barnes with the long fly out. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. The Kingsmen and DSC with plenty of good battles this season. Went 2-4 against them throughout the spring. Took 2 of 3 at home. Were swept on the road. The only sweep the Kingsmen have been victim to at either level all year. Outside corner, 0-1. I know that is one team that the Hoodaks and Coach Nick Osborne want another shot at come Lake Point here in 2 weeks. That ball sails. To third goes Catron on a wild pitch. One ball and 1 strike. 2 outs. That ball in the dirt. Big stop by the catcher. As we talk more about the playoffs, the Kingsmen, as I mentioned a couple times, are locked in to the 6th seed. That is inside. Coming to the plate, Catron. They will shuffle past that ball to the plate, and it is wide. Catron scores to make it 3-0. Deacon Curtis up with a 3-1 count. Base is clear. And he swings and misses at the 3-1 fastball. I can tell you that the Kingsmen varsity team, as the 6th seed, will play at 11:30 on Tuesday on Field 6 at Lake Point against the number 3 seed. We will see who their opponent winds up being. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. The Kingsmen at the varsity level in the 6th seed, they'll play at 11:30. If they win, then they'll be off until Wednesday at 11:30. They'll play in the same time slot, in the winner's bracket round 3 if they can secure their first win. If they lose their first game, they will have to play a second game immediately following on a different field. As that ball gets away, but Curtis sticks around on first. If the Kingsmen lose to the 3 seed at 11:30 on Tuesday, they will have to go from field number 6 to field number 8 and play another team at 2 o'clock, the same time as the prospect team would likely be playing if they can secure the 2 seed. It's going to be chaos out there at Lake Point. I hope I can get to as many games as possible. 1-0 outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The coaches are going to have to go one way. The players are going to have to go one way. I'll have to see what we do about the broadcast side of things. I do believe the league is planning on having some sort of stream, but we will, of course, bring you the action on the Kingsman Baseball Network. It's in there for a strike to Daniel. 2 balls and 1 strike now with 2 outs. Thomas is on deck, then Dino Catani. Outside corner, strike 2. Two. Hit into right field, hooking toward the corner, and it is foul. Logan Daniel put a pretty good piece on that one, but it could not hang inside the fair foul line. Kingsmen with another run here in the 4th. They have a base runner on here with 2 outs. If Daniel can reach, it'll be Eli Thomas with 2 down. Noah Jenna trying to get out of the 4th as the bullpen is up and running. Ball 3. Now Curtis will have a head start.
Let's go. Hey, count. Gotta go now.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Curtis will be moving on the pitch. And the ball is fouled off by Daniel.
Gotta be in there.
3 balls and 2 strikes. ECA trying to limit the damage here to just the 1 run. Daniel in the leadoff spot is hitless, but he reached and scored last time. 3-2, poke to short. It's Wiggins who will have to go to first. Sidearm toss. The scoop is just knocked down, and he is safe. It's a single. Base hit for Logan Daniel puts runners on second and first with 2 down. The Kingsmen have had second and first with 2 down in, I believe, each of the last 3 innings. Eli Thomas, the hitter now, with Curtis on second, Daniel on first. Ball high. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Curtis a good lead on second. Daniel trailing him at first base. 1-1 to Eli Thomas is high for ball 2. High for ball 2. Dino Catani is on deck.
Go, Jenna.
In the dirt, 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah.
3-1. Ball 4. Kingsmen have the bases loaded for the first time today, and it is a heavy hitter, Dino Catani, who will face Noah Jenna. Quick meeting on the mound, but Jenna is going to remain in the ball game. 3-0 here in the 4th. 2 down. The Kingsmen have scored in each of the last 3 innings. It was scoreless in the first. They have led since the top of the second. Catani could be the one to break it open and put the Kingsmen firmly in front. Still in the balance here in the 4th inning. So we're past an hour played here in Lexington. Catani takes one, and here comes Curtis. The wild pitch makes it 4-0. Jenna spiked the first pitch to Catani. It bounced right over the catcher, Wesley Kennedy. It took a tough hop. I think it might have hit the plate. But it is 4-0 now with 2 outs, 2nd and 3rd for Catani, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. 1-0. Outside for ball 2. That ball in the dirt. Call on the swing. Here comes Daniel. Wild pitches galore. The Kingsmen have scored all 3 runs in this inning on a wild pitch.
There you go. Be present right here. Be present right here. You got down. Let's go.
So here is the 2-1 pitch. Catani fouls it off. Two balls and 2 strikes for Dino Catani. Harris Clark on deck if the Kingsmen get another hitter. 2-2. Jenna's pitch on the outside corner and swung through by Catani. Second time that Jenna has gotten Catani to strike out. 3 runs in the inning for the Kingsmen. All 3 coming on wild pitches. But the Kingsmen will take it. It's 5-0 as we go bottom 4 on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. It's ball one to start the bottom of the fourth here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. The Kingsmen and ECA squaring off for the final time here in 2026 in the regular season. Final regular season game for the Kingsmen varsity team. Tate Johnston having a great day on the mound, but he is behind 2-0 here to start Bryce Weeks. Through 3 innings, no runs, 1 hit, but just 9 batters faced after he picked off that runner to end the 3rd inning.
Come on, Bryce.
There's a strike from Johnston to make it 3-1. Weeks, Tchaikovsky, and then the top of the order, Estevez in the 1 slot for ECA. Johnston trying to come all the way back, 3-1. Foul tip, strike 2 on the check swing. He was behind 3-0, but now has a chance for a reverse sweep of sorts. 3-2. High for ball 4. First walk of the day for the Kingsmen on the mound. No bullpen action for the KBA. They're letting Johnston run wild here. He pitched 3 innings against ECA a week ago. That was his longest start of the season, or rather longest appearance of the season. It was his first start of the entire year. Fielder's choice for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th. And it seemed like the Kingsmen had a chance to get 2 there. Clark kind of shuffled. It is officially Johnston's longest start of the season or rather longest appearance of the season, being 3 and Max Liriano up in the biggest spot an ECA hitter has had today. It is the first time the Bobcats have had multiple runners on base. Second hit of the ball game for the Bobcats. It was a soft ground ball, but it was hit in the perfect spot. First pitch from Tate. Low, gloved by Bernie. 1 ball, no strikes.
Come on, Max. Go, Max. Come on, kid.
One and 0 is high. We apologize if there's some connectivity issues here in Lexington, as there's ball 3 thrown to Liriano. Trying to bring you live coverage here from Lexington, South Carolina. Fortunately, out of our control with the cell towers. Some buffering may be going on. We apologize for that. That's a walk. Liriano loads the bases for Ian Newberger. Just walked that game off against DSC, an extra inning thriller. They won on a squeeze bunt. Final score 6-5 over there on the stadium field. So Georgia Premier locks up the 1 seed. They will not be playing for anything when they take on the Kingsmen, who will be looking to wrap up the seeding of their own. That could be good for the KBA if Georgia Premier is not throwing everything they have at them to try and get that win. One-0. Curveball, outside corner strike. 1-1. Johnston has rolled through 3 innings. This 4th has come a little bit harder. You've seen a walk, 2 fielder's choices, a single, and then a second walk. Every hitter has reached base here in the 4th for the Bobcats. 1-1. Just low. Trying to fit it in on the outside corner. It is 2-1. They've got him in a rundown. Daniel had to apply the tag, but in doing so, he caused Alex Estevez to essentially flip over, and he took a hard landing. It is really unfortunate, but when Estevez went vertical, that was the situation that he put himself into. The coaches are out on both sides to check on Alex Estevez. We will take a break here and be back with an update on the end of that inning, but the Kingsmen find a way out of the bases loaded jam. As the Kingsmen look to restart their offensive spark. They have scored in each of the last 3 innings, including 3 runs in the 4th. They're up 5-0 on the Bobcats. Noah Jenna is out there for his 5th inning of work after going through 4 innings. He's 0-1 to Clark, throws the fastball that is swung on and missed, 0-2. If you saw the end of that last half inning, you would have seen the collision. Alex Estevez trying to score after the Kingsmen put a pickoff move on at second base. And then Estevez tumbled over. That ball in the dirt, 1-2. The throw was on time from Daniel at shortstop to Christian Burney. Estevez tried to leap over, or at least around, Burney to get to home plate, since the catcher is allowed to block the plate once he has the baseball. It's the one. Burney applied the tag, and because of the, I wouldn't say it was overly forceful, but just because of the force that Burney had to put into it to make sure he tagged him, Clark hits a high fly ball into shallow right. It's the second baseman who takes a few steps into the grass, and Liriano has the catch for out number 1. Christian Burney up with 1 down, the Kingsman catcher. First pitch swinging, he dribbles it to third. C.J. Summerlin to first base, and 2 down. So here goes Brody Winan. First pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kingsmen trying to get a base runner on here with 2 down. That is a ball. I'd like to thank you for joining us today, no matter where you may be. Thanks for joining us for some Kingsmen baseball here from Lexington, South Carolina. 2-0 inside on Wyman. 3 balls and no strikes. It's the 2026 ABA round robin, the final day. 1 out of 2 at the varsity level. And that's a 4-pitch walk to put Wyman on for the second time. Catron, the next hitter. The Kingsmen looking to end their regular season on a high note. They have defeated ECA a number of times this year. The Bobcats, one of the teams at the bottom half of the standings in the ABA, but they have had success against the Kingsmen. 2 of their 3 ABA wins against Coach Preston Hudak's varsity team. That is inside, 1 ball and no strikes to Jack Catron, who singled his last trip to the plate and scored on a wild pitch. He actually advanced to second on a wild pitch, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and came home on a wild pitch. So there you go. This will be pitch number 95 for Noah. 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0. And it is a 4-pitch walk. You know, whenever I think of the number 95, think of Radiator Springs, Lightning McQueen. Some of the best animated movies to come out of Disney Pixar. So that will be it for Noah Jenna. Gave the Bobcats everything he had, 4 2/3. And now a new arm comes in when we come back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Gets by the catcher. I believe it is a new catcher for ECA that came in the last inning. I cannot read the number, but I can read enough of the number to know that that first digit is not a 1. But we will worry less about that and worry more about Easton Hart on De La Cruz. That's the second time that Matty DLC has been plunked here in this ball game. And that loads the bases. Here comes Nehemiah Barnes, who has seen it well. Nemo is 1 for 2 with a single and a line out. Top of the zone strike, 0-1. A 1 pitch to Barnes. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nemo Barnes pitched twice in the first 2 games for the round robin this week. He did not start. Normally one of the starting pitchers for this varsity at the end of both games. Got the save in game number 1. Set up the Kingsmen, wasn't it? I think Barnes got 2 saves. That sound right? Barnes did come in twice. I know that much to be fact. Two balls and 2 strikes turns into 3-2. Nemo was the last pitcher in both games. The inning ends without a run. The Kingsmen get the bases loaded but do not score. We go bottom 5 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom 5, and it's Tate Johnston still on the mound for the Kingsmen. Those first pitch ball to Ian Newberger. That last inning ended with the pickoff move to second and then the out at home. The 1-6-2 putout. Not too often you're going to see that one. 1-0 pitch. Johnson droops in the curveball. 1-1. Newberger, Johnson, Kennedy. 4, 5, and 6 for ECA. Got a little under 3 hours until the prospect team starts their ball game against Georgia Premier, who already had to play 8 innings today en route to their win, their comeback win in extras. 1-2. Foul ball. My understanding was that it was a very weird bottom of the 8th inning. DSC scored to take their first lead, and then it was a balk that brought in the tying run, and then a suicide squeeze that won the game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Georgia Premier in the prospect level has locked themselves into the 1 seed. The Kingsmen will either be the 2 or the 4 TNXL and DSC will be fans of the Red Sox, looking to move up their seeding if the Kingsmen lose. That is hit into shallow right. Winan in on it. Brody Winan with the catch. And the first out of the inning comes with the fly out to right.
Get something started right here.
Inside. One 0. And that is just low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Come on. Go, Blake. Go.
Low for ball 3.
Keep the game. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Johnson's 3-0. And that is a 4-pitch walk. Tate Johnston did not walk a hitter in the first 3 innings. But he has had a couple free passes here. We'll see what Preston Hudak wants to do. A.J. Griffith is warming up in the bullpen. He had a concussion last week against ECA after a brutal collision at first base. Today was the first day that he got the okay from the doctor to where it was a situation of if you feel good, then you should be all right. And it looks like the Kingsmen are going to use him at some point today just to see how he feels. But they will not use him right now. Tate Johnston back out there. After the mound visit, he remains on the hill, and he will face Wesley Kennedy, who he struck out looking to end the second inning. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Johnston in the ball game. He dots the outside corner with the fastball to start it off 0-1. A 1 pitch. Inside, high as well. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Come on, 1-6. Let's go.
Blocked by Bernie. Runner on the move. He bare hands and throws to second. But no tag from Thomas.
Come on, 1-6. Go, West Moore, King. Come on, Wesley. Come now. Go, West Moore, King.
There's a strike. A good pitch from Johnston to make it 2-2. Far and away his longest appearance of the season, making his first start. He's thrown 65 pitches. 4 1/3. Trying to get through 5. Kennedy's down to his final strike. 2-2. Ground ball to Harris Clark. Clark has it, looks back, the runner goes to first. And that is excellent stuff from Harris Clark. Looked Johnson back towards second. So he was not able to move to third base and then delivered a strike to Nehemiah Barnes for out number 2. Here comes Mac Wiggins for the second time today. The ball was hit out to Dino Catani last time. It was that over-the-shoulder catch to start the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch from Tate. Bernie to a full dive trying to keep that ball in front, but it sneaks just under him and 90 feet for the runner after all. 1-0 count out of the windup now for Johnston. And he drops that ball into the zone, 1-1. Pop up to the second baseman, Eli Thomas. The Kingsmen and Tate Johnson are through 5. Absolutely electric stuff for Tate Johnston, who gets a handshake from Preston Hudak on his way into the dugout. We go to the 6th. It's 5-0 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Two balls and no strikes here to Deacon Curtis as we begin the 6th. 5 fruitful innings for Tate Johnston on the mound. And now 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk to start off the frame. Kingsmen get the leadoff man on here in the 6th. Looking for a little bit more, perhaps, as they march toward what they hope to be a regular season finale victory. It's the top of the order for the 4th time. Logan Daniel is 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. There's a first pitch pop-up, shallow left center. The shortstop makes the catch. Wiggins has it for out number 1.
Go on.
One down here in the 6th, runner on first, and Eli Thomas up at the plate. He takes ball winder that the prospect team has their game this afternoon at 4:15. It'll be the final game across the board for the ABA prospect division this year. Two balls and no strikes to Eli, looking for his first hit of the contest. He's reached on an error and he's walked. Inside for ball 3. Dino Catani on deck, and then Harris Clark. That is on the outside part of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. Kingsmen up 5-0 here, top 6. And that is on the outside corner to make it 3-2. The pace has quickened here for Easton Hart and the Bobcats. And Thomas going to slow things down. Hart looking for his second out in a row, 3-2. But he misses low and away to Eli, and it is his second walk of the inning. Kingsmen this season are 2-2 against ECA at the varsity level in conference. Fell by a score of 10-9 back at the ABA kickoff in East Cobb all the way back in February. Prospect team had a good week out there as well, defeating both the ECA Premier and Prospect teams in non-conference games. That ball under the catcher. Curtis thought about third, but he thinks better of it. 2 balls and no strikes. Now, you'd love to do so. 2-0 pitch. Inside for ball 3. (3-0). Ball 4. Another walk. Easton Hart struggling out there. And it will be a mound visit and a pitching change. As Hart exits and a new arm comes in, it'll be Chakowski, Riley Chakowski, onto the mound when we come back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.
Losing it after we almost got hit.
New pitcher on the mound, Riley Chakowski, is behind 1-0 to Harris Clark. Clark with a sacrifice fly in this one, but without a hit. 1-0. That is at the top of the zone. Clark, since the Grace Academy game 2.5 weeks ago, when he had 0 home runs this season going in, has hit 4 in the last 2.5 weeks. He had one yesterday. That ball away from the catcher. Here comes Curtis. 6-0. So runners now on second and third. First base is open. Clark at the plate. Trying to give the Kingsmen some more here. And he takes ball 3. Christian Burney is on deck. Burney has hit the ball hard a couple of times, but has grounded out to the third baseman twice. 3-1 from Clark. And he took a big hack at that one. Came up empty. It's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Clark, a chance to bring in a couple more. 3-2. And he strikes out at a pitch in the zone. Kingsmen have scored in 4 of the 6 innings here in the ballgame. Tate Johnston with 5 scoreless on the mound. And they are cruising here, but still some work to be done. 1 ball and no strikes as that one is just time. 1-0. That is blocked nicely by the ECA catcher. I believe that is Tegan Nickerson, who is the new catcher in place of Wesley Kennedy. Wearing the number 56. 2 balls. And that hit Christian Burney. He turned his back and it struck his side. He is on first to load the bases for Wynant. Want to know to Wynant. Check swing, and the ball was just outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The Kingsmen up 6, so that quote-unquote 10th run is at the plate with 2 outs here in the 6th. Out of the windup, Tchaikovsky's 2-0. Blocked by the catcher, 3 balls and no strikes. Jack Katra in a ground out. There's a 4-pitch walk to bring another run in. The Kingsmen do not have a hit in this inning. They have now scored twice. Tchaikovsky will pitch to Katrin here, trying to get out of the inning. Katrin swings away and fouls it off. Runners aboard are Dino Catani at third, Christian Burney at second, Brody Wynant at first. 0-1 to Jack Katrin, the designated hitter. He takes a ball just outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll see who comes in for the Kingsmen on the mound next inning. And based on the handshake, I think De La Cruz, the next hitter. Next pitch to Katrin in the dirt, 3 balls and a strike. Been a tough inning on the mound for the Bobcats pitchers. Tchaikovsky's 3-1. That is the 5th walk of the inning. And that brings the ECA coach back out to the mound, and he takes the ball from Riley Tchaikovsky. We're going to see a position player come in to pitch here. I believe that is Mac Wiggins, who comes in from shortstop. We'll have a new player in defensively for ECA and the new pitcher on the mound when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the rest of the top of the sixth, it is the third pitcher of the inning. Mac Wiggins out of the windup to face De La Cruz. First pitch. Low for ball one. They turn to another option on the mound after Tchaikovsky could not get it done. Wiggins comes in from shortstop. 1-0. That is ball two. Defensive changes as a result. We have Summerlin, who moves to shortstop. And then Lopez, who is at third. That is Sam Lopez. That ball is hit high in the air. Go to the bottom of the sixth. The Kingsmen grab three more, and they're up 8 when we come back on Kingsmen Baseball Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Kingsmen here in the sixth inning. Tate Johnston done after 5, scoreless, and a big tip of the hat to Tate. The brightest and the best appearance, I think, of the season. That can be said without too much of a doubt. He was absolutely electric today. The gap year man for this varsity team locked in and got the Kingsmen some big innings. Now A.J. Griffith pitching for the first time since sustaining a concussion early last week. He's had about a week and a half to rest and recover. He told me today he was feeling good. He was excited that he was able to get cleared, and we'll see how he does out there on the mound facing Patrick Keller. Keller hits it softly into left. De La Cruz coming in. He will not get there, and it is a base hit to lead off the sixth inning.
You say for hours?
What, maybe? So runner on first, nobody out. C.J. Summerlin had a single. He was the first hitter to crack Tate Johnston. in this ball game as Joe Hudak walks out to A.J. Griffith and hands him something. I'm not sure what it was. To scrape off the mud on his cleats, trying to maybe grip the surface of the mound a little bit better. C.J. Summerlin digs in. First pitch from Griffith. Outside with the fastball. ECA running out of time for a rally. That 3-run inning in the 6th, making things even harder. Kingsmen up 8, so we will play to the 7th. That is another ball. That one just off the corner, 2-0. Just over 2 hours until the start time for Kingsmen prospect baseball against Georgia Premier. A big 6 spot. They'll play at 11:30 on Tuesday, the 12th, I believe it is. 3-0. And that is at the top of the zone. A gracious decision there to make it 3-1. It is entirely possible that the Kingsmen will end up playing P27 in the first round of the varsity tournament. The Blacksmiths to make it 3-2. Full count for Griffith. Hit into right center. That is softly hit. The dive from Winan, and it is beyond him. Gloved by Thomas. Back-to-back hits for the Bobcats. It's second and first, nobody out. That ball goes to the backstop, and both runners get 90 feet as a result. Jack Catron getting ready in the bullpen in case Griffith needs some help here in the 6th. Great to see AJ back on the field. 2027 out of Newton, North Carolina.
Where we are in the game. Play baseball. Let's go out there.
.10 is high, but not as high as the previous. 2 balls and no strikes. Coach Preston Hudak yelling out instructions from the dugout, trying to keep everybody locked in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Kingsmen with the substantial lead, but there is still work to do to win the ball game. That's a fastball in there. Good one from A.J. Griffith. Bottom part of the order up for ECA. Weeks, then Tchaikovsky at the bottom of the order. ECA batting 11, 2 extra hitters. 2-1 with nobody out. And another same spot fastball in there for strike 2. ECA has brought 20 hitters to the plate here in this ball game. This is the 21st. The Kingsmen have had 37 batters in this ball game. 2 strikes in a row for Griffith. He's got the count to 2-2. Bernie sets up the pitch. Went just a couple inches higher. And it is 3-2. Three-two. Inside and a walk. Tough battle between Griffith and Weeks. The bases are loaded with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Looks like Preston Hudak is on his way out to the mound. We'll see if Griffith remains in this ball game to face Riley Czekowski, who grounded into a fielder's choice to Harris Clark his last time. Mound visit over. Griffith going to stay out there. We'll see who he faces. I don't think Czekowski is going to hit here as the extra hitter. It is going to be Sam Lopez. So it is Sam Lopez that is going to hit with the bases loaded and nobody out. Lopez into the game for Czekowski after Czekowski came into the game to pitch. First pitch from A.J. Griffith. Breaking ball. Sunk in there. It is 0-1. The bottom of the order, the second time through. ECA trying to get on the board for the first time. Curveball again. Oh, where'd that miss? One ball and one strike. See if Griffith goes back to the curveball. Fastball instead, and he misses outside. ECA has the bases loaded for the first time here in the ball game. Trying to score their first runs. 2-1 pitch. Back to the curve. Got the call that time. 2-2. Lopez in the top of the order, though it does not appear that Alex Estevez is the one in the on-deck circle. We'll get you official confirmation of the batter once this at-bat is over. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Griffith looking for his first out since coming in relief. 2-2. Curveball hit. First base side, foul. Two balls and 2 strikes. Griffith shakes off twice, now comes set, and will deliver. Fastball, and it is fouled off again. AJ being forced to work here. Trying to find his first out. He's facing Sam Lopez, who's at the plate for the first time today. The bottom of the ECA order. Here is another 2-2. Griffith kicks and fires. It is outside. 3-2 is now the count. After coming in for Johnston, it was 2 base hits, a walk. Nearly going for A.J. Griffith. Blue pit to left. He's got a chance for an out here. 3-2. Curveball swung on and missed. Strikeout for Griffith to get Sam Lopez. 1 out here in the 6th. Went back to the breaking ball. He's so good at locating the spinner in the zone. Here we go. First pitch is a strike on the curveball to Noah Jenna, who started this game as the pitcher. He is hitting in place of Alex Estevez. Oh, 1. Another curveball. Inside edge. 0-2. Griffith dropping those curveballs in beautifully into the strike zone. He's got Jenna on the ropes here with 1 down. Bases still loaded for ECA. Griffith shakes off. Now has his sign. Into the windup and the 0-2. outside. Bernie to his knees to catch it. That was pitch number 25 for A.J. Griffith. Long inning here in relief for A.J., but has not surrendered a run. 1-2 to Jenna. To the curveball, but he lost it. Ran it inside and hit the batter, and that brings in the first run of the game for the Bobcats. Landry Cornegay, the next hitter in the 2 spot. He will hit in his place after back-to-back new entries. 8-1 is the score. Still a lot of breathing room for the Kingsmen, but Griffith will be looking to get these outs quickly. Curveball tapped to the ECA dugout, 0-1. ECA set to play 2 varsity games in a row today. They'll take on P27 in their second game. That is just high for ball number 1. That game is going to take place here at the Auxiliary Field in Lexington right after the conclusion of this contest. A game that started at noon. As Griffith misses outside at the fastball, we are nearing the 2.5-hour mark. Two-one. Curveball swung on and missed. A good one against Cornegay. Griffith, in relief of Tate Johnston, who threw 5 scoreless, has given up a run on the hit by pitch, but has a chance to get the ECA 2 spot hitter out with keeping the bases loaded. 2-2. Curveball outside. Max Liriano is on deck, the second baseman. Cornegay has been a tough hitter to get out today for the Bobcats. A single and a line out to second base. 3-2 from A.J. Griffith. Fastball, and it is popped up to the first base side, foul ground. Another 3-2 out of the windup. Curveball and a cue shot foul. Griffith doing everything he can to get Cornegay, but Landry Cornegay fighting. With the count full here, a 7-run ball game, ECA refusing to concede. Scored 1 run here in the 6th after they loaded the bases for the first time. 3-2. Curveball, tap to third, past the dive of Clark, and into left field. De La Cruz will get it into Harris Clark, and it goes through him to the plate. And both runners take an extra 90. That throw probably should have been cut. 2 runs score on the RBI single from Landry Cornegay, and it is a 5-run game.
Keep it going, Max. Let's go, Smiley.
Second and third, 1 out. Griffith working hard, and now will face Max Liriano. First pitch. Curveball in there, 0-1. Kingsmen continue to get Jack Catron ready in the bullpen. Griffith trying to get out of this 6th inning. 0-1. Outside. 1-1. Curveball swung on and missed by Liriano. That one was in the zone, but Liriano could not come up with contact. Newberger on deck for ECA, who has some life here in the 6th. They've still got a ways to go. Griffith looking for a big second out. He struck out one Bobcat here in the 6th inning. 1-2 pitch. Outside with the fastball. He has had better success as far as location goes with the off-speed than he has with the heater. Takes a big deep breath as he comes set with the 2-2 offering. Goes back to the curveball, and he got him at the knees. Liriano down looking for out number 2. 2 strikeouts in the frame for Griffith in his return. And he'll face the designated hitter, Ian Newberger, with 2 outs. In the top of the 7th, it'll be De La Cruz, Barnes, and Curtis. As that ball runs inside and hits the batter. Newberger plunked. It's the second hit batter of the inning. That loads the bases back up. So Griffith pitching with the bases loaded against Clark Johnson. First pitch. Curveball away. It's actually a pinch hitter for the Bobcats. Wallace, number 41, is the pinch hitter for the Bobcats. Blake Wallace, the pinch hitter, 1 pitch, and a quick meeting between pitcher, catcher, and shortstop. ECA with the chance to really make this a close ball game here. They were down 8-0 at the start of this half inning. Griffith throws the 1-0. And that is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0. And that curveball is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. If one more hitter comes to the plate, it would be Wesley Kennedy, the catcher. Going to re-enter the game for Tegan Nickerson. If he comes up, he would be the tying run. 3-0. There's a strike on the outside corner to make it 3-1. Kingsmen allowing Griffith to fight through some adversity here in the 6th inning. His first start, or his first appearance rather, since that concussion. 3-1. And he walks Blake Wallace. So that will be it for Griffith. The Kingsmen will look to another pitcher for the final out of the 6th. ECA climbing back into this ball game. And it will be Griffith exiting for Jack Catron. We'll be right back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Kingsmen, it is Jack Catron. Catron pitching in his third ball game for the varsity team this year. He pitched last week. Got another go at it, the traditional catcher for the Kingsmen. He has earned himself a chance to get out of this inning. He gets a big cut from Kennedy on the first pitch he threw, and it is 0-1. The Kingsmen have surrendered 4 runs here in the 6th to make it a ball game once again. It is the tying run that is at the plate right now. 0-1. Another fastball and another swing and a miss. 0-2. Catron trying to make quick work of Kennedy and get the Kingsmen back in the dugout for the 7th. 2:30 local time here in Lexington, South Carolina. 0-2 from Catron. Bernie sets up and the pitch just outside. Bernie tried to frame the 0-2 back into the zone. One ball and 2 strikes after the fastball just missed. See what he goes to now. But he'll step off first. One, 2. That ball gets away from Bernie. Runner coming to the plate. And the run will score on the wild. And time called by Wesley Kennedy. In the 7th, it'll be Nemo Barnes and Deacon Curtis, then the top of the order for Logan Daniel. It will be the 5th time through the order for the Kingsmen. Catron comes set at the chest, and the 2-2. Yes, he did. Strike 3. A strikeout for Catron in his only hitter faced. That will do it for a long 6th inning. 8 runs combined between the two teams. We go to the 7th, a 3-run Kingsman lead right here in Lexington on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Back here on the Kingsman Baseball Network, it's handshake lines. The Kingsmen have won this ball game. They call it due to time. Of course, they're playing other games at this field. They want to get the next game started before too long. And this game has been called after 6. An unorthodox way for the Kingsmen to wrap it up, but they get it done by a final score of 8-5 here in Lexington. That win wraps it up for the Kingsmen in the regular season. They are the 6th seed in the ABA Championships. They'll play at 11:30 on Tuesday, May the 12th, against an opponent to be named. We have prospect baseball for you to wrap up the regular season here in the ABA. That game will start at 4:15, and we hope to see you right back on the Kingsman Baseball Network here in just about an hour and 45 minutes. I'm Griffin Leonard saying so long from Lexington. It's Kingsman 8, ECA 5. The Kingsman win. We'll see you soon on the Kingsman Baseball Network.